What it do, YouTube? It's your favorite YouTubers, man. The God Next podcast at you. What's up, Dono? Go ahead and talk to him, bro. How you feeling today, man?
Man, I'm feeling great. It's about to be a great week. We got something very, very good coming for y'all. We're not gonna say too much about that, but we doing great things, man. We always appreciate the love and support. So just keep motivating us, and we coming right back at y'all with the content.
Cap got some big things coming for sure.
Yeah,
But today, man, we're just gonna be grading some NBA offseason moves. It's been a crazy offseason. Actually, the first few days was crazy. It's been kind of more chill as the offseason's going on. So obviously, we can't talk about every move that's going on. So we're gonna talk about the ones that we feel are most impactful. So with that being said, we hope y'all enjoy the episode, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff. And without further ado, let's get into this intro.
You ready, Playboy?
Yo, turn it up, Slay. I can't hear nothing.
As the intro just ended, I forgot to put the actual show name up there and different socials and whatnot. So throw those up for a few seconds, man. Make sure y'all follow us on all the socials. Instagram, TikTok. Don't get on Facebook one of these days, but that's for the geezers. So today, first and foremost, we'll be talking about Rudy Gobert to the Timberwolves, man. It was for Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, Patrick Beverly, Walker Kessler, who they just drafted the Timberwolves, and 4 first-round picks. Dono, how did you feel about this move?
honestly, I didn't really understand it. I didn't understand it. They gave up a lot of their core bench scoring. They gave away Patrick Beverly, who probably was the leader of their team, at least the emotional and vocal leader of their team. Jared Vanderbilt was a very solid defensive player for them. He played hard. He played solid basketball. Malik Beasley was probably their best scorer off of the bench. So you kind of gutted your team, pause, uh, to trade for Rudy Gobert, which I don't really understand because it's like for the money he makes, he should be able to at least stay on the floor in the crunch time of playoff games. It's just like all these years he's been in the league, at least have one post move that you can rely on when it gets tough and you have a mismatch. Like this man can't even do a post hook. Like he just won't drop step and dunk on somebody. So it's like at this certain point, I don't understand it. I think it'll help them a little bit. They'll be better defensively, but offensively, I feel like that this kind of hinders them a little bit. But I feel like they're just going all in on Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns and seeing what those two can do and how far they could take them from there. So it'll be great to see, but at first glance, I don't really understand the move and I don't really understand the fit, especially with today's league too.
So what's your grade for the trade?
I say like a B minus, C plus. Like it's not a. I'd probably say more so like C plus, C minus. Because for Rudy Gobert, that's nasty work right there. That's nasty work.
Yeah. Let me give this a C. C minus, actually. I'm gonna give it a C minus, closer to a D. Cause why? I don't get it. Like, what does he bring that y'all needed desperately? Like interior, maybe, but Karl Anthony Towns is decent. And I mean Jared Vanderbilt was no slouch at the 4 position at defending. So I mean it's not like you know what I'm saying? And I mean you're basically just getting a better Jared Vanderbilt, honestly. Honestly, that's seriously kind of
not as athletic as that.
He's not going to shoot very much. He doesn't have very many post moves. The offense is very limited, but he brings you a lot on defense. So there you go. But he can defend probably less good on the perimeter than Jared Vanderbilt. So again, don't really understand the move, but I'm gonna give it a solid C. I think the Timberwolves were just trying to make a move, and I think this can possibly go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history. 4 first-round picks for Rudy Gobert, bro. 4 first-round picks? Are you kidding me? If this is what Rudy Gobert is going for, I can't wait to see what somebody like DeAndre Ayton or somebody like that is going to go for in the open market. Rudy Gobert, 4 first-round picks. That is insane.
If
like
that was the case,
they gave up their entire future, man.
They should have just traded for Donovan Mitchell if that was the case.
Yeah, I just maybe don't make a move. I think that Patrick Beverly was actually pretty substantial on that team. Um, he played some
So
great
was Malik
defense down the
Beasley, in
stretch. I
my
mean, he's
opinion.
also but he actually was pretty decent down the stretch for them in the playoffs. So I mean, I don't really know. Kind of just seems like it's just a regular move. Honestly, I don't think it's going to be that spectacular. But it does also have the chance to be the worst move in NBA history. So watch out for that. Next up, we got Jalen Brunson to the Knicks on a $104 million contract. Um, how do you feel about Jalen Brunson going to the Knicks for a heck of a lot of money?
Um, I give the deal like a. So I feel like, let me just phrase it with this. I feel like when a player gets money, you can't be upset at the player. You gotta be mad at the organization that gave
Oh
him
yeah,
money.
I'm not upset at Jalen
So
Brunson.
it's
No.
like Jalen Brunson is definitely like a solid player, a good player. He proved himself a lot. Like in the playoffs, he stepped when Luka was hurt in that first round versus the Jazz. That man stepped up and he did his thing. So he definitely earned the contract. It's just it's tough because the Knicks, they still got Derrick Rose, right? Or is he a free agent?
I think he's a free agent. It doesn't. He's not on the free agent list, so he's probably on the Knicks. Yeah, I'm gonna say
And
he's on the Knicks.
they still got Emmanuel quickly. Don't they still have Alec Burks?
Yes.
Then they drafted like a couple guard. Don't they have Fournier still?
Yes.
So
And
then,
this is the issue I have with the trade. RJ Barrett as well, still on that team.
but I'm pretty sure they're paying Jalen Brunson to start. So I give the move like a C plus. I just don't really understand like what the Knicks' direction is right now. So I'm not mad at Brunson at all. Like he's definitely a solid player. I think he'll be like a fifth, like a 17 to 20 point scorer on the Knicks because he'll probably get more shots, more opportunities. Probably average like 6 to 7 assists. He won't be bad at all. I just feel like the team around him, I'm not really sure what's going on there in New York, but Brunson will be like a steady piece. So I give the move like a B minus, C plus. Like it was solid for sure. It was solid.
I'm gonna give this move a C plus, A plus for Jalen Brunson. By the way, getting his bag. All props to that man. Definitely bravo to him. But for the Knicks, this is definitely a C plus type of move. When I think about their starting lineup, I think of Jalen Brunson, I think of RJ Barrett, I think of Julius Randle, and I think they just re-signed Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
So meh. So I'm gonna give it a fat meh. I don't really think that's it's not moving any needles over here, man. That team against DeJounte Murray and Trae Young. I mean, I still think they lose to the Knicks. So
Yeah.
I mean, to the Hawks. Excuse me.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So I mean, do you think they're going to be a top seed in the East? Like, what does this do for them? I don't think that this really does.
They'll probably be like around like playing contention. I give them like around like somewhere in the 10th range.
Which to me is where they were. So I'm like, I don't get the move. This is a sideways move. This wasn't forward. It wasn't back. You got a better player, but I don't think it's ultimately going to mean anything because at the end of the day, while Jalen Brunson is a great offensive player, he's also 5'11" in the NBA. So he will be giving up buckets no matter how hard he tries on that end. We see Steph Curry put up, solid defensive efforts, but I mean, your effort doesn't really stop anybody from scoring most of the time. So, I that's just keeping it a buck. So yeah, we're gonna move on. Actually, I said C plus. So
yeah,
we're gonna move on to DeJounte Murray to the Hawks, which I just alluded to. This one I kind of struggle with because I don't know who's going to be the main point guard here and who's off the ball. I do like it as far as really the Hawks saw against the Heat that Trae Young needed some help because we were just once we shut down Trae Young, which I said before the series started. Once you shut down Trae Young, the rest of the team's not really going to really be able to create any offense or anything like that. So to get DeJounte Murray, and then he's also a solid defender, so I kind of like the move. But again, with some of these other moves, I don't really know how it raises their ceiling. It definitely raises their floor more than their ceiling for me. So I don't really know. How do you feel about this move?
I actually really like the move. I give it like a A minus, honestly.
Okay.
DeJounte Murray, he's coming off a career season. that man, he's very good defensively. He rebounds the ball well. And one of the issues with the Hawks was their perimeter defense. Like their interior defense was pretty solid because you got Capella down there, and you got the other guy that comes off the bench. I don't know. Yeah, him. So to have those two inside is solid, but the perimeter defense for the Hawks, because we saw Jimmy Butler just he was killing. Like he didn't even have to play like the last 2 games basically because it was no need for him. So and then to add another ball handler to the equation that can also play make and get a bucket too. That was like the perfect match for Atlanta because DeJounte Murray also has the size to be able to guard these different positions while still he's able to create. So that was definitely a solid move for them. It puts them probably back in like that top 5, 6 teams in the East range that they're normally in. So that was a solid move for them. I really like DeJounte Murray's game, and I think he'll flourish even more on the Hawks, to be honest. And he's still young too. He's like what 22, 23. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I definitely like that move. I give it A-.
I don't think I gave it grade. I'm gonna say B+, just depending on who's on the ball more and who's off the ball more. I think that can, sway things a little bit for me. But overall, good move though. I like to see the Hawks, shaking up the roster and like really trying to, give Trey some help and see what they can do. So I guess we're gonna see what they can do. Next up, a free agency move. Actually, it was a trade. A trade that I really liked during free agency, man. Malcolm Brogdon to the Celtics.
Yeah,
I think this is a very solid move for them. As me and you have talked about, they need kind of that, facilitating point guard. So I think that this kind of gives them a little bit of that. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon is not, solely a passer, but he can also score the basketball. He can play a little bit of defense. He can do multiple things. So I kind of like it as far as that. But I'm gonna give it overall a A-. But I want to know who's going to be starting for them. Is Malcolm Brogdon going to be their point guard? Is Marcus Smart still going to be the point guard and they run Malcolm Brogdon at the 2? Is Jalen Brown going to be the 2? Like I want to know how they do it, but as far as the move itself, A-. But I want to see what they do with it in the future. So how did you feel about this move?
Yeah, I definitely agree with what you said about how they're going to play this out. Because Brogdon was definitely a great pickup, and I feel like he was like the piece they needed in the finals.
Yes.
Like
yes.
Just that point guard to kind of steady the ship, but he could also knock down clutch shots. Because I think Brogdon, he's near like one of those 50, 40, 90 type of players. Like he's just real quiet, real steady.
I think he had 50, 40, 90 in his rookie season with the Bucks, and then that's what
I was say, or he was at least close to it, or he did it.
He was at least close to it, yeah. But he was he was rookie of the year that year, so yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, he's definitely been playing solid basketball these last few years. It's just, like we normally say, with the bad teams, nobody's really watching their games. So nobody was really watching Pacers basketball to really acknowledge the stuff that Brogdon has been doing the last couple of years. But that's definitely a solid pickup for Boston, and I would probably give it like a A- as well, like you. Just honestly, we just gotta see how it plays out now. I probably think they'll probably start like Robert Williams, Tatum, Brown, Smartin, and Brogdon. Maybe they have Al Horford off the bench or something.
You said who off the bench?
Al Horford probably and Derek White.
Yeah, Derek White, Al Horford. They're still a pretty deep team, so I like that they were able to keep their depth. Because Aaron Nesmith was really not doing too much for me.
Yeah,
I thought he's been traded a few years ago. So yeah, they got rid of him and Tice, which I mean that's pretty good for Brogdon. I like that.
Yeah.
So, yep, definitely good move for them. Next up, we got PJ Tucker to the 76ers. This is another move I really liked. Of course, PJ Tucker being on the Heat last season and then just a few weeks ago being in the playoffs. Great role player. He might be the greatest role player in the NBA. I love PJ Tucker, bro. He will give everything on the court, plays high-level defense, and plays any position on defense. 1 through 5, he can guard you. And he'll get threes consistently. Great player. Like, absolute great player. I think this is a great move for the Sixers. Gives them some versatility. Gives them some familiarity with Harden and PJ Tucker, having previously played before. It gives them some toughness, man. I think that they definitely needed like a tough guy on this team because they didn't really have that. Yeah, because Joel Embiid, while he can be mean sometimes, he's also, a jokester sometimes. So I think that, and then Harden, he's gonna show up and play. He don't really have a demeanor with the way he plays. He just plays. So I think this gives them a identity, and I like it. I think it's an overall solid move. How did you feel about it?
I definitely agree with that. PJ Tucker's a solid fit for any team that he goes on because you know what you're getting every night from him. He's going to play hard, he's going to defend, and he's just going to shoot some corner threes. So you can't be upset at adding a guy to a team that you know what you're getting from every night. You know what you're getting from him. You probably won't get any more than 10 points, but you know you're going to get effort and some defense. And that's a lacking quality, I feel like, in the NBA now. Like, a lot of guys don't just commit to doing just that, just playing hard and just doing one thing. Everybody always wants a bigger role or wants to be expanded in some way, shape, or form. So for the Sixers to add him, I feel like he'll definitely be huge for them because he probably takes away minutes from a guy like George Niang, who honestly
doesn't need to be playing. He doesn't need any playing time, not in any game, not even regular season. He does not need to be getting playing time. I think George Niang has one of the worst body builds I've ever seen in the NBA. It's like Raymond Felton. It's Raymond Felton, and I think him. Yeah, I think it's just those two. Oh, and Grant Williams until this past year, because Grant Williams now has my respect. He did not have my respect until this last playoff run. But I didn't even rate this. I'm gonna give it an A. How did you feel about this movie?
Yeah, I'm probably about the same. Hey, that's a very solid move for Philly. Honestly, it was almost like a need. I feel like.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, because Thibault's a solid defender, but then he can't shoot really. PJ Tucker is
completely worthless, and he can't really guard 1 through 5 like PJ Tucker can. So you're getting you're getting a guy that can guard 1 through 5 and can shoot better than him. So great move. Next up, we got Malik Monk to the Kings. This is really only important because he's leaving the Lakers, of course. So being, LeBron fan, all that, Lakers all the way in. How did you feel about Malik Monk leaving your team?
I'm not gonna lie, I was definitely upset. Malik Monk, although the Lakers had a terrible season last year, Malik Monk was doing his thing. I gotta give the man his credit. He was balling. He could shoot. He's athletic. He was really giving it his all, and I was honestly surprised to see him go. But just to see him on the Kings with De'Aaron Fox, his old college teammate, I think they'll definitely be solid. But at the same time, it's the Kings so they drafted Davion Mitchell last year, who's solid, a very good young player. Then they just traded for Kevin Huerter. Then you sign Malik Monk, and you still have De'Aaron Fox. So, I mean, I don't really know where everybody's really going to get their minutes at because Kevin Huerter's no slouch either. Like,
he's not. No.
All the guys they have, like, I mean, maybe it's a good problem to have. Like, you have too many good guards.
No, it's not a good problem. It's their logjam at guard, bro. Which they keep doing this. They unloaded a few guards, and then now they go and get some more guards. But at least now they're overloading the 2-guard position and not the point guard position. So they are decided the point guard. I guess they just got shooting guards and decide who's going to be their shooting guard.
Yeah.
So
I'll give the move like a B minus. A B minus.
For the Kings, I'll give it a B plus. I'll give it a B plus for the Kings. I think Malik Monk is a starting level shooting guard, 100%.
Without a doubt.
He can start in the NBA, and I think that's a pretty good starting shooting guard, especially with De'Aaron Fox and having them not made a play-in or playoffs in the last few years. I think
they'll be all right. I think the Kings will make the play-in. I think they'll make the play-in.
I hope so. Well, we shall see, but they have not been in the run yet, so we shall see. But next up, another move I think that you might like. It definitely pertains to you, John Wall to the Clippers, man. How did you feel about this when you saw it?
It's good to see my man John Wall just back on the NBA roster, just getting the opportunity again. Understandably so, a lot of people were criticizing him about all the money he made and then not really being available these last couple of years. So I feel like this is going to be a huge year for John Wall. The last full year he played when he first got to the Rockets, I believe he was still putting up like 19 and 8. And this is fresh off 2 Achilles surgeries. So they let this man train for a whole offseason. He's going to a completely better team. He doesn't have that the same type of like responsibility on his shoulders. Right. So I feel like I feel like if he starts and he gets like solid minutes with the Clippers, he'll be knocking on the door of averaging double-digit assists, I think. I really think he'll be not because you got Paul George and Kawhi next to you. John Wall is the master of the pick and roll these last couple of years. That man had March and Gortat averaging almost 20 and 10. So imagine what he could do with Zubac, because Zubac's no slouch. Zubac is all right. Then you got Marcus Morris. So he has better weapons around him. So I think John Wall definitely remind some people who he is this year. I'm not going to say he'll return to his all-star form or anything like that, but he'll definitely be like a John Wall. People say, man, we forgot about John Wall. He's like, it will revitalize him if that makes sense. Kind of like when Melo first got back in the league and he was on the Blazers, and people were like, man, that was Melo. Y'all forgot. Like, I feel like it'll be one of those. So I give the move like for the Clippers, I give it like with Ty Lue coaching, that's like an A-, B+, because he's a really good coach. So he'll maximize John Wall's talents.
When I first heard the double-digit assist point, I thought you were gassing it, absolutely. But then you made the point about Marcin Gortat and Nene. And that is my main thing with John Wall. Does not get talked about enough about how good he made that team.
Don't forget Otto Porter. He got Otto Porter paid.
Yes, bro. Like he made those guys look pretty damn good for a little bit. Marcin Gortat and Nene, those guys were, Lord, they were probably garbage. But John Wall made them look pretty good, for real, for real. I can't lie to you. Nene is decent, but Gortat, come on, one trick pony. Anyway, my thing with this, I'm gonna give it a B- for right now, but they have Reggie Jackson, who actually had a pretty good season. So I don't even know if John Wall walks in and starts automatically. That's kind of my thing with this. I don't know who starts, so that is gonna change my grade. So if John Wall doesn't start, it's gonna be a B-, and if he does start, I'll give it a B. So yeah, because I mean, I definitely like John Wall with Kawhi and Paul George and everything else. They got Terrence Mann, Marcus Moore. They got a few things.
I forgot they had Terrence Mann.
They got a few things going for them. So it's like this could be a really good move, but it could also be like, if they don't really play him that much. And they have Reggie Jackson out there. So I don't know. Overall, a good move though, even if he is coming off the bench. John Wall off the bench is not a slouch. That's a great move. If you can get that kind of production off the bench, you're doing something good. So yeah, B- or B+ if he actually gets some minutes. Next up, only going to talk about this because I think it's kind of telling of what the Nets are doing right now. The Nets signing Royce O'Neal and TJ Warren. It kind of seems to me like they're gearing up to keep KD and Kyrie. Am I on the right track with that, or how did you feel about this when you saw this?
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't end up keeping both of them. Even though KD requested a trade, and obviously Kyrie opted back in, but he's looking to get traded as well. I feel like these are two players you just are always uncertain. You can never say for sure, like what they're gonna like when what they got planned or what they're gonna do. Like for instance, with LeBron, like you could tell towards the end of his run with Miami, like yeah, he's probably gonna leave after his contract's up and go back to Cleveland. Then you could tell when he got to Cleveland, yeah, he's probably gonna leave and go somewhere else to LA. Like he kind of plants the seed a little bit. With KD and Kyrie, you never really know what they're gonna do or what they're thinking. So, and we haven't heard either of them say anything on this matter. So they could very well end up staying in Brooklyn. So to add those two players, I think Royce O'Neal, he's decent. Like he's a solid defensive player, can knock down threes a little bit. TJ Warren kind of hasn't done anything since the bubble. And I think he put up like 50 one game.
Yeah, I want to know what injury he had because Lord have mercy, it's about to be 3 years since we've seen this man, bro. Insane,
right? So
crazy,
but and gruesome, or he was suspended or something. I don't know. But
if he's in a glimpse of Buck TJ Warren, this is a great move. This is
yeah.
Move. So and I like his threes. So yeah. So what was your grade again?
I'll give it like and this is assuming KD and Kyrie stay, right?
Yeah.
I give it like an A-, B+.
And if they don't, what do you rank this?
If they don't stay, that's like a C-. Like they just need help at that point if they leave. Like 2 moves aren't gonna fix it. 2 moves are not gonna fix it. If they leave, this matters. Like these pieces do not fit. Actually, Royce O'Neal kind of fits with Ben Simmons.
TJ Warren,
I don't know. But if KD and Kyrie stay, then these are solid moves because what the Nets needed on the perimeter was defenders and guys that can kind of shoot a little bit. So Royce O'Neal fits the shooting and defender, and TJ Warren, we don't really know what you're going to get from him, but he's not a bad player at all.
Yeah, just only talking about this because I don't know. I mean, but this can kind of go either way though. Like if Royce O'Neal and TJ Warren are on the team without KD, I mean, it's still a decent move, I guess. TJ Warren is kind of the more intriguing guy here because I mean, you don't really know what you're gonna get from him.
Right.
He's definitely more inconsistent of the two. So I mean, this could be a splash. This could be a way to kind of not replace KD because I mean, you're not gonna do that. But this can kind of be their way to like stay above water and like remain watchable if KD leaves, or this could be a way to help out. So I don't really know how to see this one, but I'm gonna give it a C plus. I think it's a decent move. I mean, yeah, you're gonna need KD and Kyrie to really do anything in the East, so that's the only reason that this is even relevant. Next up, we got the Lakers signing Thomas Bryant and Lonnie Walker the fourth. I know how you feel about the Lakers, so how did you feel about this move? And Thomas Bryant being from the Wizards, so how'd you feel about this?
It's not a bad move. It's not a bad move at all. The Lakers definitely needed to get younger. I don't know why it took them a year to realize that. Lonnie Walker is definitely a solid player. He's still young. His shooting has gotten better each year. He's very athletic, and he defends. So I feel like that was something the Lakers definitely a young guy that's athletic that defends, that's improving as a shooter. You can't really beat that. He kind of makes up for the loss of Malik Monk. He's not the same level of shooter as Monk. Not anywhere near the same level of shooter as Monk, but he's getting better. He's a solid player. So I like the Lonnie Walker move. I probably give that like a B. I give it a B for what they signed him for, and he's a young, talented guy. In terms of Thomas Bryant, I probably give it the same because he's a young big man. He could shoot. I just feel like with the Wizards, he just got a little too trigger happy and just thought like he should probably get more shots. But I mean, I don't blame you. It's the Wizards. A lot of people come here and really just think their role should be bigger than what it is because, you know, sometimes the Wizards give guys like a false sense of like entitlement to make them think they're a player that they're really not. So can't fault the man. Got to fault the organization. So he's definitely a solid pickup for them because he's a big man that he can defend a little bit and he could shoot. He could shoot. I give him that. Thomas Bryant can shoot. So I give both the moves like a B, like a B minus. I don't mind it at all.
Thomas Bryant, I'm gonna give him a B minus. I think that AD has come out a few times and said he doesn't like running center, which I think is so stupid because he can easily run center. It's not that hard, and I think didn't they win a championship with him running center? Nah, Dwight Howard's running center.
Dwight Howard and McGee were down. Yeah.
Okay, but I think he should be more open to it, not where they're like signing centers just to run center because I think Anthony Davis at center is pretty solid. But I give that a B minus. The Lonnie Walker move, I'm actually going to give a C minus, maybe even a D plus.
Oh wow.
Not the biggest Lonnie Walker fan, just because, especially not on the Lakers, because they need shooting, and it's like you just bring in another defender who, if he gets the ball on offense, is not going to know what to do with it. So, and that kind of just frustrates Lakers fans. You got Kent Bazemore who just plays defense, doesn't really know what to do with the ball when he gets it. You had who else was it? Oh my gosh, what's his name? Stanley Johnson, who whenever he gets the ball, good defender, yes, absolute great defender, gives you energy, all that type of stuff. End of the day, you might have to shoot the ball once or twice, and that's kind of where his downfall is. So it's like they kind of got another one of those players. So for me, I don't think it's a positive move, but I mean it's kind of neutral. So, but I'm more in the end of it being ass than I am of it being good. I'm gonna say D plus, C minus. So that's going to do it for all the ones that we're covering today. What was your favorite free agency move?
My favorite free agency move, as of right now, are trades included or no?
Oh yeah, trades are included.
So I'll probably gotta definitely go with that DeJounte Murray to the Hawks move. I just feel like that's a really good piece for the Hawks team. It gives them more flexibility. It improves them defensively, and you got another playmaker. You got like 3 different things you needed all in one player. So I can't be mad at the move at all. So I definitely would say the DeJounte Murray to the Hawks move. And they didn't trade much to get him either. I think like Gallinari and some other stuff.
Yeah, it was Gallinari and like I think a first round pick later down the road. But
yeah,
really not. Yeah, honestly, for 2 paper clips, it's kind of what they gave him up for. So. My favorite move of all of the offseason is probably going to be. I'm going to kind of take a lower key one. Dante DiVincenzo to the Warriors. We didn't even cover it. That's kind of my favorite free agency move because it's very low key. But even on the Bucks, I know he wasn't there when they won a championship because he got injured. But Dante DiVincenzo, if they would have had him in the playoffs that one year, they would have been even better. He's basically another Pat Connaughton, basically. Like Dante DiVincenzo is nice for real. So Yeah, look out for Dante DiVincenzo. That's a great rotational piece for the Warriors, especially since they're trying to replace who's an Otto Porter, who I think went to another team,
And Gary Payton.
and Gary Payton. So yeah, I think that he's yeah, it's solid just pick up for them. He's gonna play defense and shoot some threes, and that's really what the Warriors do. So great pickup for them. Last but not least, we're gonna go over some agents that are still available that you guys need to look out for. So first and foremost, James Harden, but he's expected to sign back to Philly on less money. But I mean, he hasn't officially signed yet, so he is still technically a free agent. DeAndre Ayton from the Suns, still to look out for. May resign, go somewhere else. I'm not sure. Hope he goes to Charlotte, to be honest with you. So I can see some Hornets games and they'll actually be watchable. Colin Sexton next. I was hearing a lot of stuff about the Cavs not liking him last season, so I don't know if he'll be resigning there. And I don't know what point guard jobs are available as of right now. So yeah, just definitely just look out for him. Montrezl Harrell. I put him Montrezl Harrell slash Miles Bridges because they're both in some legal troubles at the moment, but they are
Right.
technically free agents. Carmelo Anthony, free agent. Schroeder, Hassan Whiteside, Blake Griffin, and DeMarcus Cousins are all free agents. So make sure y'all look out for them to get signed. Maybe your team will sign them, maybe they won't. But that's gonna do it for this episode of the Got Next podcast, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that type of stuff. Make sure you visit the socials, man. This is gonna be Instagram right here, and it's gonna be the TikTok right here. So we'll catch y'all next week. We got some big stuff coming up. Definitely look out for that in the next week or so. So yeah, man. Hope y'all have a good one. And yeah, catch us next time. Peace.